Hi ladies and gentlemen, it's the late evening of February 17th, 2017, and I have a couple things I need to do. The first is, I think you noticed that new plate that's at the beginning of my video, and I'm going to use that all the time now. It's kind of going to be I guess, an intro trademark kind of thing. I want to thank Pam Jones for Liberty for doing that. She has a Twitter account. She has PamJonesForLiberty.com, an excellent blog. And she's a video graphic artist, it looks like. I haven't actually talked to her. She just sent me this, and I just really appreciate it. The picture that she used is actually from my short movie. It's about 35 minutes long, called Loneliness. When Carol died back in 2008, I was so impressed by the way the hospice people helped me in particular, but her of course as well, but especially the way they helped me afterwards, that I made that short documentary on the process of grieving and then recovery, and then I donated that to the hospice industry. Well, I didn't put it up for sale on Amazon for a couple of years because I wanted them to have the full use of that, the hospice. And then I finally put it up on YouTube. And I think it's on YouTube now. I'm not sure. I put so many videos up, I'm not sure. But whether she bought the video or downloaded it and got that picture, what it symbolizes, and by the way, I'm a little bit younger in those pictures, it shows a bridge in the background. In other words, a transition from one side of the bridge, one side of life, to another, one side of a trial to the new side. That whole symbolism there. And it was really incredible that she used that, because with the situation as we have it now, and all the things that we're trying to do to regain our republic, and the wonderful work that President Trump is doing, despite all of the naysayers on the left and the leftist Marxists, who are actually an army at this point, as you may have heard me say. The fact of the matter is that we are going across this bridge, and we're trying to regain what we had before. It's a new beginning. So I think it's very apropos, and again, I want to thank Pam Jones for doing that. I didn't ask her to do it. She just did it out of the goodness of her heart. So thank you very much, and go visit her blog and follow her on Twitter. Okay, so having that out of the way, I'd like to talk a little bit about YouTube, first of all. When I put up the pedophilia FBI videos, LDS Church videos, government, well, I don't even remember the name of it at this point, but when I put those up, you might remember, those who were watching it, the first one didn't want to play. As a matter of fact, I tried to load it and it wouldn't load. It took me a long time to get it to load, and then when it did load, it wouldn't play. And apparently some people were saying there was a glitch at YouTube for that, and that may be. I'm not saying that it wasn't, but it's interesting that when I put up the second video, it was the same video, and I just reloaded it with a different name because I figured that the name had something to do with it, and I called it Why Me. It loaded up at first, but then it had problems playing. And then there were some other things that happened. I've noticed that, and I'm not watching clicks that much. That's not a big deal for me. But I did notice that the counts weren't very high. And then I had friends call and say, hey, our comments won't post on your videos. So all of that, and that's still going on, by the way, both the count situation and the comments having a hard time posting. So that's all indications that there are censorship, type things going on. So that's the first thing I wanted to bring up. And the second was the Twitter deal. A lot of you might know about this. We all know that President Trump's Twitter account is being manipulated so that he doesn't see the compliments coming to him, the thanks, the positive things. All he's getting is the bad stuff loaded to him. And so I looked at some of those that were put up towards him. They're very easy to find. You just go on his Twitter account and look at it, and you can see all the garbage there. And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna look like I'm attacking him in the first couple of words, and then thank him, saying that those words really describe Twitter. Well, it didn't work. Probably for two reasons. The word I used were probably a little too strong, although there were some really bad ones in the other tweets that they left up. But I think also what's going on there is that they're not just using an algorithm. I think that there are probably some accounts like mine and people like me, and a lot of you, that they keep track of. And they probably have, in some cases, depending upon whether you hit it at the wrong time or not, a live person watching what you're putting up. Because, it was it wasn't instantaneous, but it was pretty quick. So at any rate, the point is that there is this problem with trying to suppress positive information to President Trump, trying to suppress information on the New World Order, on the leftist propaganda, all of that. Pedophilia, all of that. They're trying to suppress it all. So I just wanted to let you know that was happening. And they did suspend my account. They restricted my account for 12 hours, which is going on still right now, where I could only have communications with people that were following me, which is where I guess I should say the people that I was following. That's what it is. So at any rate, and I use Twitter for information more than anything else, just to get leads, I guess you could say. So anyway, I wanted to bring you up to date on that. I wanted to thank Ashley Beckford with InfoWars for her excellent expose on this, and then Pam Jones, of course, she made a really good banner that you can see on Twitter and probably her blog account. And a lot of people are talking about this now. We've got some real enemies out there in the social media, the leaders, the CEOs out there. Talk about free speech. Chuck Todd the other day saying it's un-American to restrict, the journalists. Well, they restrict themselves because they restrict themselves to falsehoods, to fake stream news, as we're supposed to call it now, I suppose. But at any rate, so there are a lot of things that we have to be aware of, that there is this war going on with us. Then I wanted to slip over into a situation I saw Nancy Pelosi when she was talking about, this call of Michael Flynn's and the Russians and all of that, which is all so ridiculous. Of course, they're trying to pin Trump and his supporters, his administration, as being Russian agents, which, these people are so brain dead, I can't believe it. They can't even think it straight. So Pelosi gets up there and she's talking about this call, and she calls President Trump the deflector in chief. It's interesting because those people have hated Christians and have hated the Constitution, have done everything they can to subvert morality in this country. When President Obama said, the bitter clingers to their Bibles and their guns, they didn't say anything. Where's this outrage about, getting upset at a religion? So I have something that I'd like to say about that, and I've already put it out on Twitter, I think, and that is that, Obama and his bitter clingers to the Quran and their sikkahs. The sikkahs are those knives that they use, those curved knives. It goes both ways. And, Pelosi's disgusting. Maxine Waters is disgusting. Harry Reid, but he's disgusting. All those people, they're just disgusting. Even the Republicans. But at any rate, the fact of the matter is that Donald Trump is starting to get more on the offensive. And this is where I wanted to address Pelosi. It looks to me, and I've done a lot of research in this, pedophilia in the upper echelons of our government, our corporations, our ecclesiastical institutions, our education systems, all of that, the Sandusky deal, all of that, it's permeated throughout all of those institutions. Some time ago, President Putin of Russia gave a long speech about the problems with immorality in America, particularly this problem with pedophilia. Do you suppose that The reason why they're so concerned about what Trump is doing talking to the Russians isn't because they think they're Russian agents, but because they're getting information on the pedophilia rings in the United States and in the New World Order. Do you think that's really what's bugging them? That they're trying to discredit anything coming from the Russians, so it'll discredit the facts that the Russians probably have loads and loads and loads of intelligence information on the pedophilia rings. I'll bet you bucks that's what's going on here. Not to mention all the other corruption, the Clinton Foundation and the supplying of ISIS and all those things. Fast and Furious. The Russians have got all that. Not that our intelligence agencies didn't have it too. It's just that our intelligence agencies are in bed, by and large, as you can tell by the way I talk about things, are in bed with these evil, immoral, corrupt enemies of the Constitution that are throughout all these organizations. Okay, so the intelligence communities, under the banner of national security, protect the crimes of themselves and the leaders of the United States. So it would only make sense that those people that are afraid of being exposed want to try to discredit the Russians and find out, if in fact that's where some of this intelligence information is going to come from on the pedophile rings, the child trafficking, the blood farming, the organ trafficking, all of that stuff, the sacrifice of children, and I don't know any specifics on that, but that is part of the religion, no doubt about it. Bohemian Grove, out when they do their thing with the cremation of care with the male baby doll, that's an effigy. But can you imagine even doing something like that? So there's no doubt that they actually do it in reality. And a lot of our kids disappearing, and people in the pedophile communities that are part of all of that, having kids so that they can sacrifice them, of course. All right. So I wanted to bring that up. I think that's really what they're concerned about from the Russians, is the Russians leaking intel information to Trump and his investigators, et cetera, about their crimes. Okay, and I wanted to bring up this thing with Admiral Harvard, who is going to take over after Michael Flynn left. It's really strange because, all right, I can understand him not wanting to get involved with that and be with his family. I can understand that. And I'm not sure he actually said these things, but I wouldn't doubt it because, they're saying his friends said, first of all, that he didn't want that shit sandwich. And also, he had another friend that said there's too much turmoil in the White House. Wow. I want to just say that, these upper echelon officers in the military, all of them are suspect, because unless they were purged by Obama, thrown out, okay, then the chances are that they have leanings towards protecting the military-industrial complex in an immoral way. And so and I'm not accusing Harvard of that. I'm just saying that it's very suspicious to me. Okay? And I really think if President Trump can do it, he's got to start leaving these flag officers alone. Just stop worrying about the flag officers and worrying about all the people that they used to manage in their systems. There's some very, very excellent field grade officers. That's major to colonel. I'm thinking even staying away from the full birds. But a lot of them are excellent. And they do an excellent job as the national security advisor or that entire thing. So it's just something. I mean, look at General Marshall before World War II. Well, when World War II started, General Eisenhower was a lieutenant colonel, a 50-something-year-old lieutenant colonel, and Marshall promoted him to general and made him the commander-in-chief of the Allied forces in Europe. So there's some real talent out there, and I won't say who. I'm not going to name any names, but a lot of people know who they are. I'll see you again next time out here.